Hello and welcome to the creation of Mute Chaos. I'm Willow Mute Chaos Bridges, your host and subject for this mini series. Together, we will delve into the creation of my online persona and how I came to the position that I'm currently situated in. We'll also touch on what goes into what I do, what I know, and more. So, let's get into episode 2, where I finally touch on my journey into esports. How did I get into it, why I got into it, the interests that I have, and the spark that has been ignited. So, going into how I learned about esports, obviously Conestoga College, I didn't know anything about esports, believe it or not. Somehow, some way, someone who plays video games, albeit solo and usually choose your own adventure type video games that have no esports to them. I didn't know anything about it. Didn't know Conestoga had esports, but it does. The way I learned about this is we had a guest speaker, Zach Dodge, my now manager. He came in as a guest speaker into my first year class, and he essentially told us everything. He made some statements that we still remember to this day, mainly because he came in for, it was like an 8 a.m. class that we had, and we were all dead tired, dead asleep, and he essentially, the one thing we remember most is Master Chief saved my life. Zach, I love you for that. You have forever solidified yourself within our class, our first year. And it's something that, albeit you don't really think that it would stick in your mind, but it does. And it stuck in my mind in a way that made me actually want to get into esports while not really realizing that I wanted to get into esports. I know this is a really confusing thing to say, but yeah, I learned Conestoga had an esports hub. We have a gaming hub, and at the time we were also told about the arena that we're going to be getting very shortly, and we learned that you could work there as a caster in production. You could work at the hub and get paid for it. Now, the first semester, I did not apply for this. I had no desire to get a job, nothing. I was applying for other places. I just didn't essentially care for it, is the best way to put it. And so eventually, going into second year, first semester, I needed a job, and I seen through the portal that we have for Conestoga for job postings that they were hiring. Every semester they hire because we're students, you have to make sure that you can get in, yada yada. So I applied. I had a classmate who, Curtis Cove, if you know Condors Esports, you know Curtis, you know Cove. We've done some casts together. He already pulled a semester with Condors Esports. And so I reached out to him. I was like, hey, jobs open. What exactly do I put? Because there was a demo section and I didn't have anything. I had no esports casting, no sports commentary. I had nothing to bring to the table other than I'm a broadcast radio student. That's all I had. And he kind of joked around. He was like, oh, you coming for my job? And I was like, I just need a job. Listen, buddy, so we joked around for a little bit and he said, just go for it. Ultimately, there's 3 of us in my program. Me, Curtis, and Andrew all got brought in, got onboarded, got the job, and I was terrified, to say the least. I had never done any commentary before. I've never done play-by-play. Half the game titles I've never actually played nor watched, believe it or not. Zach, if you're listening to this, yeah, I made it through without knowing anything about anything. I'm the type of person who, as much as I knew I needed to watch the gameplay, I just didn't. Believe me when I say this, if you get into an industry that you know nothing about, do your research and back yourself. I somehow made it through without doing that. The only thing I could back myself in was Call of Duty. I played Call of Duty, by the way. You hear me talk about playing BO6 all the time. The last time I touched a Call of Duty title was back in Black Ops 3, which was almost 8 years ago, the last time I touched that game. Crazy to say. So I came into this with 8 years of just no experience, an old game experience. Destiny 2 was my most recent, FPS game, and even that I hadn't touched in about a year. And so I was just like, okay. I was put on Call of Duty as a game title. I was also put on League of Legends. Curtis and I, the League of Legends caster, going on a second semester now. It was an experience. I'd never touched the game before, never even seen it. I knew it was, some weird game while also not being weird. It was an experience. First semester. So we get into it, we start learning, I meet the team. Curtis and Brody are the ones, teaching us, showing us the ropes. Brody, also known as Leaf or Lifax, it's Leaf. But he's our mentor. He's really, really been great. He's shown us the ropes. He gives great feedback. He also knows my journey from how I've sounded day one till now, which is crazy. But we've grown, and I know I've grown. I've been told I've grown, which is just, everything is very crazy. How I got to where I am now is crazy. Crazy and completely unexpected, but it happened, so I have to just accept it. So, got the job. First semester, didn't know what the hell I was doing, what the games were. League of Legends. Curtis and I get put on League of Legends. Neither one of us have touched this game. Neither one of us knows how this game works, but we went for it. We did a full send. If we are not going to know this game, we are going to make it entertaining. We still to this day do not know this game. Everything that we've learned has been on the spot or from our team. Honestly, the team has been amazing. Lopaczynski, Lazaro, absolutely, honestly, game changers. Same with Yuri. Yuri's also been very helpful. We've got a lot of insight, a lot of names for things. It's been great. I ended up trying to pick up the game, League of Legends. I played it twice against AI and rage quit both times. And the second time, I vowed to never touch it again. So I haven't, but I watch it. And I watch it because it's fun. And Curtis and I, when we cast it, it is fun. Yes, sometimes it's slow, and sometimes you feel exhausted because you're just watching nothing happen, but it's still fun. Like, we might not know what is going on, but it's entertaining, and it's something to talk about, which is then how the Spark was created. I realized that I truly enjoyed what I was doing. There was fun to it. I didn't feel like I was working, which is a huge thing, but I also felt like I could grow. There was room to grow. There was a lot to learn. There was just so much to it that I was just hooked. Especially with Call of Duty, a game that I hadn't touched since BO3. It was a game I enjoyed when I was younger. I never played comp, never played ranked, nothing. It was my older brother and me 1v1 situations where I'd absolutely get steamrolled because that's just how it is when you got a brother that's 4.5 years older and using you as a way to just grow his skills and bragging rights. But MW3, the title that I walked into, not knowing any of the maps, some of them were familiar, but I didn't really know callouts, nothing. I literally went into this career essentially knowing nothing, which, not good, but it's a start. And I was willing to put in the effort to learn and to continue to learn by talking to the teams and talking to the players and getting to know whatever. And I essentially adopted teams without them realizing. Our Call of Duty squads, our varsity and academy teams, I essentially adopted first semester, made some great friends, had some very interesting experiences, learned some stuff. Going to second semester, the spark was still very much there. A lot of our teams and players ended up coming back, returning. We do have some new ones. Some stuff's gone down, and some friendships get broken. It's the way of the world. I still very much will absolutely back our teams. I will go toe to toe with people. I've never been in a fight, but you best bet I will absolutely get in one for these teams if it means backing them and putting in the effort to show that, like, hey, these players have worked to get where they are. These aren't just, they're not handing these games. They have to try out their actual online athletes. I'm not going to call them actual athletes because that's wild, but they're athletes. They're online athletes. And the spark just continues to grow. There's so many things and so many skills that I'm learning, that I'm growing, that just, the spark just continues to grow. There's essentially a flame that's been lit, and I don't think it's ever going to go out. It's definitely something that I continue to strive forward to. It's a career that I never thought that I'd want to get into, but it is a career that I'm absolutely gunning for and will probably die on the hill trying to get it. But the hill is there, the spark's been created, and I'm going for it. Obviously, interest, I've touched on Call of Duty, big interest. MW3 sparked that, prior younger me desire to continue to, absolutely try to steamroll guys. Doesn't really work out that great. I'm only like, my peak is plat 2. Not very impressive, I won't lie. Especially after 8 years off, it's like, that's not impressive, plat 2. I've wanted to get Crimson, but I don't think I'll get there anytime soon. I've taken a break. Last time I touched BO6 was like a month ago, which is crazy to say. But even League of Legends, like casting games, Valorant, even I started playing Valorant. After the first time I ever casted Valorant, I was literally having an anxiety attack the entire time. I 100% thought I was going to have to step out at some points to go throw up. Never did, thankfully. But now I play Valorant. I enjoy casting Valorant. I enjoy bringing information to the table that maybe some of my, co-commentators, my hosts don't usually, might not have. And just bringing a little bit of different insight to things is fun. Having those conversations are fun. Being a color commentator is fun. Being a play-by-play commentator is fun. There's just a lot of fun in this industry. The skills that I learned, a lot of them actually came from broadcast radio. I will say right now, I would not have gotten into esports or have even made the jump to get this job if I was not in broadcast radio. If I was granted the opportunity to work for Condors Esports and I was not in broadcast radio, I would have said no. Because I did not have the confidence. I wouldn't have had the skills. I would have been completely like, I don't know what I'm doing, so no thank you. So ultimately, broadcast radio, I have to give a huge thank you to for gaining the skills to be an announcer, be a commentator, to, be on social media, to do interviews. Something I never thought I would do. I always had an interest in doing interviews for musicians. Never thought I'd be doing interviews for esports players, especially collegiate level. But it's fun. And you're always going to hear me refer to it as it's fun. It's something, fun is not something that I get a lot, which is a wild thing to say, but this is fun. Especially to be able to say that my job is fun is a whole different thing. It's no longer a job at that point. This is just an experience that I'm enjoying and an experience I want to continue to enjoy. So yeah, a lot of the skills for esports come from my broadcast radio program. So it goes to show, everything kind of falls into place. One thing sparks another thing. But is this something I want? Obviously, yes. I've been hyping it up. I've been saying it's an experience I don't want to give up. It's a hill that I would die on to get. So ultimately, I found my spark, found my drive to continue. Actually, I found my drive so much that I'm willing to go back to college for another 2 years for an esports program at Conestoga, which is crazy. I hate school. And yet I'm willing to go back for another 2 years to further my skills, my understanding of this industry, which kind of says a lot in itself. I'm willing to put so much on the table for this, which proves to me that this is something that I want to do and something that I should not give up on. So yeah, it's the end of episode 2. A little bit of a deep one there, but not really that deep. So I will see you in episode 2.5, believe it or not, for an esports demo. And until then, I'm gonna just say goodbye.